Hello everyone, Ember here, and welcome back to a new video. In this one I'm going to be taking a look at a bunch of cards that were revealed from the set Mask of Change. So for those of you who are just a wee bit confused as to why there's been so many card reveals and just what on earth is going on basically, Japan has just had the reveal of Crimson Haze, which is their next kind of main set, which releases next Friday. And then that will combine with this other set that they're getting, Mask of Change, which hasn't been fully revealed. We're just starting to see snippets from that set, and those sets will combine to form Twilight Masquerade in May, which is our next set after Temporal Forces. So with that all cleared up, we can look at the new cards, and we do have a Poltergeist line, Poltergeist, which is the new kind of variant, I guess, of the what's it called? Poltergeist? No, not poltergeist. That's literally the phrase. What is it called? I forget the name. The teacup from Sword and Shield. But yeah, either way, it's one of those variants, and it's a DLC Pokemon. So there is going to be a DLC EX version of Sinstatra, which is quite cool. However, the single prize might actually be better than the EX. So before we get into any of that, though, the Poltergeist itself is kind of mid. However, there is a Poltergeist in Crimson Haze, so it will be in this set as well, which does have an ability that says it's protected when it's on the bench. So it won't take any damage from stuff like Radiant Greninja, which is fantastic. And it just gives this deck a bit more survivability, I guess, against spread decks. But yeah, Sinstatra has two pretty okay attacks. Cursed Droplets is alright for finishing off Pokemon that you can't quite KO. And Matcha All Out says discard the 3 basic Grass Energy from your Pokemon in play, and it does 70 damage for each card discarded in this way, which doesn't seem that threatening at first, but 210 is quite decent, and how we can ramp Grass Energy is not just with Gardenia's Vigor. We could also use the Ogerpon EX, which will allow it to, if you don't know what it does, you can attach a Grass Energy from your hand to Ogerpon, and if you do, draw a card. And you can do that as many times as there are Ogerpons in play, so you can quite easily ramp 3 energy per turn. So yeah, pretty decent. And there's also, if we scroll down, there is a new item card coming out called Bug Catching Set, which says look at the top 7 cards of your deck, and you may choose up to 2 in any combination of grass Pokemon and basic grass energy cards you find there, reveal them, and put them into your hand, which is honestly a pretty good card. It's a very good card for Torterra and stuff that need to be more consistent, and especially for Ogerpon themed decks. So yeah, fantastic card for finding energy and just, finding more basics. And you will have stuff like Buddy Poffin as well as Earthen Vessel to find stuff, but I definitely think Sinstatra with Ogerpon and that Bug Catcher, yeah, could definitely be quite a solid rogue deck. Or if you don't really want to involve many copies of Ogerpon, I still think, the card could be pretty good. Excuse me. So, what was this Pokemon called? Monkey Dory. Sounds like a dwarf from The Hobbit, but yeah. Monkey Dory. HP 110, so not too bad. Has the ability Adrenaline Brain. It says once in your turn, if this Pokemon has any dark energy attached to it, which is a gimmick across all of these Guardians, by the way, so they all need a dark energy to do something. If this Pokemon has any dark energy attached to it, you may move up to 3 damage counters from one of your Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon. And then the attack is nothing special, but we're kind of here for the ability. So this ability is really cool. I really like this ability, because it means Hisuian Samurott is a bit better. Now, I know Hisuian Samurott isn't very good, but if you can get at least 1 dark energy on this guy, and you can swing with Samurott, then you can heal 30 damage from Samurott, and essentially set up an attack that does, well, effectively 220, and then the extra 3, so 2. I can do basic maths. 250, there we go. So yeah, a Hisuian Samurott buff, effectively. You could also play this with Meowscarada, which seems a bit of a faff, because you have to play both Dark Energy and Grass, unless you want to get really awkward with double turbos and Dark Energy. But yeah, either way, Monkey Dory, I think this card is actually pretty good. It will definitely see some experimentation and play. You could even play this in a pseudo spread deck, as long as you were tanky enough to survive a hit, and then you could move 30 damage off something and then move it to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Honestly, not that bad. I quite like this card. Could definitely see some play. Anything else that I can think of, really? Not really, actually. Dodrio, I guess. Dodrio's a bit of a weird one, but you could ramp damage to itself, or, even use something like Steelix. So maybe this could be a new card for Dodrio's Steelix. Probably my favorite budget deck right now, so that's really cool. I know that's just a niche use, but, it definitely shows that there's at least card potential with Monkey Dory. So Yeah, I quite like it. You could even use Gardevoir actually to, you could heal off damage from a psychic Pokemon and then place 3 damage counters. And then effectively you could, because it doesn't actually specify your opponent's active, which is really cool. So you could target the bench as well. It's nice. Okay, there's definitely a lot of fun uses for this card for sure. We'll have to do some brainstorming. But yeah, very, very fun card. Then we have Pheasantipity, which I'm a bit sad they didn't give this like a Technician ability, which, for those of you who don't know in the video games, Technician essentially buffs an attack damage if it doesn't do enough damage, basically. That's like a weird way of saying it, but basically if it does like 60 or less base damage, it does a little bit more, which I think would have been an interesting ability to implement in the TCG. But either way, Adrenaline Hormones is quite interesting. Says if Pokemon has any dark energy attached to it, if any damage is done to it as well, flip a coin. If heads, prevent that damage. And then the attack Energy Feathers for 1 psychic energy does 30 damage for each energy card attached to Pheasantipity, or each energy, I should say, so not just energy card. So yeah, pretty solid overall. You could definitely play this with Gardevoir, although you will have to, be playing Dark Energy if you pair these up with Gardevoir. But I mean, if you're playing Dark Energy for Pheasantipity and Gardevoir, you might as well play the Monkey Dory, so that's kind of cool. So yeah, the ability is a bit flippant. There is sometimes where this is going to be very, very annoying and effectively turn you into immunity from damage, which is very cool. However, you will still, need a lot of energy to do relevant damage, and you might need some HP modifiers, but still a very cool card, very playable, very usable. Honestly, I don't like it as much as don't like it as much as Monkey Dory, but yeah, I still think it's quite a cool card. But yeah, Okidogi with what are these names? Okidogi? Yeah, Okidogi. HP 130 fighting type, has the ability Adrenaline Power, sensing a theme here. If this Pokemon has any dark energy attached to it, it gets plus 100 HP, and its attacks do plus 100 damage. Now this sounds fantastic. However, the attack cost is double fighting, and it does 70 base. So even doing 170 and having 230 HP, which is incredible for a single prize, you still need fighting dark energy. And I'm not really sure how you're going to pay that attack cost. It seems a wee bit too convoluted. I'm thinking maybe Garchomp EX, maybe. But it just seems like a lot of effort. Like, you could use Lost Box, I guess, but that seems a bit generic and a bit boring. We're trying to think outside the box, literally. But yeah, Okidogi, I think this could be Okidogi, sorry. I think this could be a very fun card for a single prize deck, but it's obviously very fun for GLC stuff, but I'm not sure just how you're going to play this. But yeah, all of these, by the way, are very cool for GLC. Should note that. But yeah, Okidogi. This is messing me up. Okidogi? Okidogi. That's the right one. Okidoogie, shall we say. Yeah, that's a better one. But yeah, Adrenaline Power, it's a very, very powerful ability. And you can even modify this further with like the plus 100 HP A spec, which is cool. But yeah, cool card. Then we have Carmine or Carmen. If you go first, you may play this card on your first turn, discard your hand and draw 5. It's alright. I still think that turbo decks like Raging Bolt and such probably don't need Carmine in the deck. I'm not like a massive fan of Raging Bolt or Roaring Moon right now though, so maybe that's just my 2 cents and it's a bad take, but discard your hand, draw 5 doesn't seem super worth it, even if you can use it on the first turn. So yeah. Then we see Kieran, which honestly I think this is a pretty good card and we'll see a bunch of play at some point. Switch your active Pokemon with one you're benched, or during this turn, your Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon EX or V. So that's pretty good. It's definitely a switch or a mad damage modifier, which is quite nice. Is there any decks that really want the plus 30 in certain situations? And, can we find this frequently without stuff like Luminion really being good? So it's a bit of a strange one, but I do think a one-off Kieran might help a lot of decks in some situations. So it's nice that also you could, apply this to a single prize Pokemon, which is quite cool. So yeah, Kieran could definitely see some play. And then we kind of talked about this one earlier, but Bug Catching Set, definitely a very, very solid buff to grass types. So very looking forward to trying this card out in Ogapon decks. But yeah, I think the highlights, for me at least, are Bug Catching Set with Sinstature and Ogapon. That's definitely going to be a fun deck to play. And then just Monkey Dory, just being quite a fun card. And then Okidoogie, shall we say, could be quite a fun meme deck if we can find a way to charge it up consistently. But yeah, very fun cards overall. And, I'm happy that Pokemon is at least printing interesting single prize Pokemon. Even if they're not like top tier broken, they're still playable. You could still have fun with them, and you could still win games. So yeah, it's been our power. Let me know what you think of these cards down below. And yeah, thank you for watching.